2,000 additional troops are deployed to the Middle East. While American soldiers fight on foreign soil, there is a second unseen war at home, the war on human trafficking. Las Cruces and the border region are an easy target for human traffickers. Every year, over 17,000 women and children are forced into sexual slavery and trafficked in the United States of America. The Pentagon has called the latest escalation a dangerous situation. Human trafficking is a problem on a global scale, which has also left an impact in New Mexico. The State Department recommends that all Americans return to the U.S., but the overwhelming majority of victims we see are actually domestically born. The cartels are responsible and are getting away with this. Nikki Halstead, a former war hero, is now retired and lives a peaceful life before which she was actively in the force and has absolutely no time for her family except for short calls. But when she came home, those moments were the happiest and most precious of her life.
Tactics, weapons, munitions.
She has gone through immense training, with time spent in the 3rd Cav, then the Regiment, Special Ops, a lifetime of experience.
No one tells you jack shit.
She knows the exact second it takes for a person to bleed out if she makes an inch-long incision in your carotid artery. They say on an average that a child spends 18 years with their parents. Then after they move out, when you add up all the remaining time you see them, you're lucky if you see them for one more year.
Chloe!
She had to make a change. She had to come home for good. She had to make things right.
I had to come home for good.
From her window, her friends wish her a happy birthday. Nikki has refused Chloe from spending time with her friends because she can't be too careful. Chloe tells her mom that she has plans with her friends around 9 p.m. to celebrate her birthday. Nikki refuses, and Chloe says that she's now 16 and wants to go be with her friends. She blames her mom for not being around for the better part of her life. She blames her for forgetting about them. When Nikki says that she's trying to fix things, Chloe tells her that she doesn't fix things, she breaks them. Chloe refuses to come out for the rest of the day. Nikki knocks on her door but gets no reply, and so she texts her but no reply either. Nikki goes into Chloe's room and finds a note. She had escaped through the window to meet her friends at a club. While having a drink, Chloe spots a cute guy who looks interested in her. He comes over and says hi. When Chloe's friends leave, he drops something in her drink. Meanwhile, Nikki continues calling Chloe but gets no reply, and so she tracks her phone and quickly drives down to the club where she finds her friends leaving. When Nikki steps inside the club, she sees 2 strange men running away with Chloe. They drive off before she gets to them. Nikki chases the vehicle and grabs one of the men, demanding for her daughter. The driver swerves the car and she falls off the moving vehicle. Nikki refuses to give up, and so she cuts through streets and backyards, then jumps straight on top of the SUV again. She stabs the driver in the eye, crashing the vehicle. Nikki remains unconscious, and this gives the other guy time to take out the dead driver and escape with Chloe. When Nikki wakes up, she finds herself tied upside down and is about to be tortured by Victor the Butcher. She demands for the whereabouts of Chloe but gets no response from Victor. Nikki was caught after she burned down a whole whorehouse in search of Chloe. She had killed 5 of Sullivan's men at Club 30 last night. This cost the Syndicate a lot of money, and Mr. Sullivan is very upset, especially because his contact went for the daughter of some special forces super badass. Nikki gives him one chance to release her and she'll let him live, but he smiles and mocks her, then grabs a knife and cuts through her stomach. He stabs her and walks away to speak to Sullivan on the phone. By the time he turns around, Nikki has cut herself loose. Victor the Butcher attacks Nikki and gets stabbed in the stomach. She dismantles him and delivers multiple fatal cuts on his body, finally stabbing him in the chest. Nikki asks Victor about Chloe, and he tells her that he doesn't really know where she is, but that Sullivan must know. Nikki eventually finds and begins to track Sullivan, who works for a man above him known as the chairman. They adorn fancy business suits to make themselves feel better about the reality of their trade, dealing in human flesh. She has to find her daughter before it's too late. They say that in any disappearance, especially that of a child, you have 72 hours until the trail goes cold, but the chances are that you'll never see them alive again. She has already lost so much time. A widespread hunt is authorized, but they're unaware that she's already hunting them, and is even closer than they think. His home is well protected as well, and she can't risk it. She has to get creative. Nikki goes home to take care of her injuries. Pain is temporary, infections are not. She is fatigued from all the hunting and tracking but is persistent. The police department have gotten hold of a video footage of the incident at the whorehouse. They assume it's a man, a ghost still very difficult to track. He's their #1 target. The chairman is seen for the first time on the phone with Sullivan. It appears he is already aware of the havoc Nikki has caused him. They're expecting a fresh shipment tonight and can't afford any problems. They have half of the policemen in their pockets and must use them. They continue to investigate the case until a new footage from the Red Bar resurfaces. It's Ben, the guy who kidnapped Chloe. The video shows him being ripped off by the masked killer. The police is aware that Ben works for the Syndicate. They also have information about the driver whom Nikki stabbed in the eye, but then, on identifying the owner of the key, Nikki's name pops up. The Syndicate and the police are now after her. One of them suggests they look for her at her house. Nikki goes to a store to buy a skateboard. Sullivan prepares his men and is on his way out of his residence when Nikki deliberately rams his vehicle. She quickly takes out his security details before they can flinch. Sullivan is now alone. He begins to beg for his life. She slams him, then asks about Chloe. At first, he pretends to not know where she is, saying that he's not in charge. Then he gives Nikki the chairman's address and she guns him down. Surprisingly, Nikki finds Chloe at the back of Sullivan's truck. She takes Chloe back home and promises that no one's ever going to hurt her again. She has been excessively drugged and abused. Meanwhile, the police department, having gotten reports of gunshots somewhere in town, and having found the Honda Nikki was driving, a squad is immediately mobilized to infiltrate her house and retrieve her.
Be advised, target is armed and extremely dangerous.
Use of lethal force has been authorized. She has killed 5 people last night and another 8 as of now. While Nikki pays close attention to Chloe inside her house, the police surround her house and are about to break in when Colonel Lavelle shows up with a document giving him command authority over the investigation. Captain Michaels is in shock. Lavelle tells him to pull his men back immediately. The squad instantly retreats from Nikki's house. She leaves Chloe to get some medical supplies because she can't risk the hospital due to too many questions. When Nikki steps outside, she notices strange movements but stays composed. Captain Michaels goes behind Lavelle's back and instructs his men to kill Nikki. They begin to follow her down the street, thinking that she hasn't seen them. Unfortunately for Michaels' men, Nikki ambushes them in a corner, and while Lavelle explains that he was Nikki's commanding officer for a long time, a footage of Nikki falls in. She has dismantled the team. Lavelle calls out to her and begs her to give in, but she refuses.
I'm sorry, sir. Fatalities.
What the fuck have you done?
By the time Nikki returns home, Chloe is gone. She grabs a cop who was told to grab Chloe but was unable to because she was gone before he arrived. Nikki spares the cop but knocks him out. This has become personal, and Chloe will not be safe until the people responsible are dead. All of them. With 11 hours left on the clock, Lavelle and Michaels race downtown in search of Nikki. Lavelle tells him that Nikki has given everything she has to the nation.
I think you're the only ones who suffer.
He notices Michaels' expensive suit and asks him how much he actually spent on it. Something sinister is ongoing. That night, after raiding Nikki's home, they find the cop cuffed to an object. Just outside the house, the FBI arrives and places Captain Michaels under arrest for suspected fraud, bribery, perversion of justice, corruption of authority, and protection of illegal activities, with other charges pending. Michaels attacks Lavelle and instantly regrets it. His badge and gun is retrieved and he's taken away. Lavelle tells the police officers that Nikki is a mother looking for her child that was kidnapped by the Syndicate. The Syndicate has 13 men dead, but why won't they give back Nikki's daughter? Lavelle replies saying that it's not that simple. The chairman's hotel is the center of the entire operation and Nikki is ready to rip the place apart. The new shipment arrives and multiple ladies step out from the truck to be processed. Nikki takes out a plier and some tools. She cuts off the fuel supply of a nearby vehicle very close to the electrical control box of the hotel. Her plan is unclear for now. Sullivan warned her that it's a fortress, but then, she has heard that before. Nikki approaches and takes out one guard, then liberates the girls. The Syndicate is in for a lot of trouble. She is prepared to single-handedly tear down their operations. The chairman is alerted of her presence. Nikki turns on the gas cookers in the kitchen, then takes down multiple cameras. When the fuel leak touches the control box, a massive explosion occurs, and this takes down all cameras and lights inside the hotel, giving Nikki an opportunity to move like a ghost. Because they don't know what she's up to, the Syndicate are plunged into a brutal execution by a very pissed-off mother. She tears through the chairman's guards, picking them out one after the other and ending their miserable lives. She moves from room to room screaming Chloe's name but doesn't find her. Instead, she finds the chairman's location and demolishes his guards, breaking into the room only to find Chloe held at gunpoint. With 5 seconds left, the chairman is murdered and Chloe is rescued. Nikki rushes Chloe to the hospital where she is immediately given medical attention. She has her daughter back. However, there's a twist. Lavelle explains that Nikki already found her daughter almost a week ago, but by the time she found her, Chloe was already dead. She couldn't just accept it. She had a complete breakdown and was taken to the hospital. Physically, she was recovering, but mentally, she was messed up. Sadly, she blanked out Chloe's death completely and thinks that Chloe is still alive. Doctors call it retrograde amnesia caused by trauma. It means that Nikki isn't able to form new memories, and every time she falls asleep, her mind resets to the night it all began. Then she's going on a hunt again. Nikki is a force of nature, but if her daughter is dead, who is she saving? She fixates on girls that look like Chloe. She is compelled to rescue her daughter. It's her sole purpose, and she's never going to stop.
Don't worry, Chloe.